Imagine for a moment that you are a ship sailing on the vast ocean of life. The waves are your emotions, rising and falling, sometimes gentle, sometimes fierce. But you, my friend, you are the captain of this ship. And today, we're going to learn how to navigate these treacherous waters with a steady hand and an unwavering spirit. Shut down your emotions. It's a powerful statement, isn't it? But let me tell you something. It's not about becoming a cold-feeling robot. No, it's about mastering your emotions, about taking control of your life in a way you never thought possible. You see, emotions are like fire. They can warm your home or burn it to the ground. They can fuel your passion or consume your dreams. The choice, my friends, is yours. And that's what we're here to talk about today. In this world, we're often told to follow our heart, to trust our feelings. But I'm here to tell you something different. I'm here to tell you that your feelings, your emotions, they're not always your friends. Sometimes they're the very things holding you back from greatness. Think about it. How many times have you let fear stop you from pursuing your dreams? How many times has anger clouded your judgment, made you say or do things you later regretted? How many times has sadness paralyzed you, kept you from moving forward? These emotions, they're powerful. They're real, but they're not you. You are more than your feelings. You are a being of limitless potential, capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. But to do that, you need to learn to shut down your emotions when they're not serving you. Now I can see some of you shifting uncomfortably in your seats. Shut down my emotions. You're thinking, that doesn't sound healthy. And you're right. If we're talking about suppressing your emotions, bottling them up until... That's not what I'm talking about here. What I'm talking about is emotional mastery. It's about recognizing your emotions for what they are. Temporary states, fleeting feelings that come and go like clouds in the sky. It's about acknowledging these emotions, understanding where they come from, and then choosing whether to act on them or not. You see, we often make the mistake of thinking that our emotions are who we are. We say things like, I am angry or I am sad. But that's not true. You're not your anger. You're not your sadness. You're the one experiencing these emotions. And once you understand that, you can start to take control. Imagine you're driving a car. Your emotions are like the GPS system, constantly suggesting routes and destinations. But you, my friend, you're the driver. You can choose to follow those suggestions, or you can choose your own path. That's what emotional mastery is all about. Taking the wheel of your life and deciding where you want to go. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but emotions are natural. You're saying they're part of being human. And you're absolutely right. Emotions are a fundamental part of the human experience. They've helped us survive and thrive as a species for thousands of years. But here's the thing. We're not living in caves anymore. We're not running from saber-toothed tigers or fighting over scraps of food. We're living in a complex, fast-paced world where our primitive emotional responses often do more harm than good. Think about it. When was the last time your fight or flight response actually helped you in a business meeting? When was the last time your knee-jerk emotional reaction solved a complex problem in your relationship? In today's world, success isn't about who's the strongest or the fastest. It's about who can think clearly, who can make rational decisions, who can persevere in the face of adversity. And to do that, you need to learn to shut down your emotions when they're not serving you. Now, I can see the skepticism on some of your faces. You're thinking, is this even possible? Can we really control our emotions like this? And the answer is a resounding yes. But like any skill, it takes practice, it takes dedication. It takes a willingness to step out of your comfort zone and challenge your own assumptions about who you are and what you're capable of. Let me tell you a story. There was once a young man who grew up in poverty. He had every reason to be angry at the world, to feel hopeless, to give up, but he didn't. Instead, he chose to shut down those emotions of despair and self. He chose to focus on what he could control. His actions, his thoughts. This young man worked tirelessly, studying late into the night after long days of work. He faced rejection after rejection, setback after setback. But each time he chose not to let his emotions of frustration or disappointment control him. He acknowledged these feelings, then set them aside to focus on his goals. Today, that young man is one of the most successful entrepreneurs in his country. He's created jobs for thousands of people, lifted entire communities out of poverty. And do you know what he says was the key to his success? It wasn't his intelligence, though he's certainly smart. It wasn't luck, though I'm sure he had some lucky breaks along the way. No, he says the key to his success was his ability to shut down his emotions when they weren't serving him. To push through the fear, the doubt, the discouragement. To make decisions based on logic and reason, not on fleeting feelings. That's the power of emotional mastery, my friends. That's what's possible when you learn to shut down your emotions and take control of your life. Now, I want to be clear about something. Shutting down your emotions doesn't mean becoming cold or unfeeling. It doesn't mean ignoring your emotions completely. In fact, it's quite the opposite. To master your emotions, you first need to become intimately familiar with them. You need to learn to recognize your emotions as they arise, to understand where they come from, what triggers them. You need to develop an awareness of how these emotions affect your thoughts, your decisions. Think of it like this. Your emotions are like the weather. They come and go, sometimes predictably, sometimes not. You can't control the weather, but you can learn to predict it. You can prepare for it. You can choose how to respond to it. In the same way, you can't always control what emotions arise within you, but you can learn to predict them. You can prepare for them, and most importantly, you can choose how to respond to them. This is where the real power lies. In that moment between stimulus and response. In that split second where you decide whether to let your emotions drive your actions or whether to pause, to reflect, to choose a different path. It's in these moments that lives are changed. It's in these moments that greatness is born. It's in these moments that you have the power to shape your destiny. But make no mistake, my friends. This isn't easy. It's not something you can achieve overnight. It takes practice, it takes patience, it takes a willingness to fail, to stumble, to make mistakes and learn from them. You see, we've been conditioned our whole lives to believe that our emotions are who we are. That to deny our emotions is to deny ourselves. But I'm here to tell you that this is a lie. A lie that's been holding you back, keeping you small, preventing you from reaching your full potential. The truth is, you are not your emotions. You are the awareness behind your emotions. You are the one who experiences them, who observes them, and once you realize this, once you truly understand this, you'll have taken the first step towards true emotional mastery. Now, I can see some of you nodding your heads, starting to understand, but others of you still look skeptical. You're thinking, this all sounds good in theory, but how do I actually do this? How do I shut down my emotions in practice? Well, let me tell you, it starts with awareness. It starts with paying attention to your emotional states throughout the day. Notice when you get angry, when you feel afraid, when you're overcome with joy. Don't judge these emotions. Don't try to change them. Just observe them. As you do this, you'll start to notice patterns. You'll start to see what triggers certain emotions. You'll begin to understand the stories you tell yourself that lead to these emotional reactions. And once you have this awareness, you can start to make choices. You need to feel anger rising. Instead of lashing out, you can pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this anger serving me right now? Is it helping me achieve my... If the answer is no, then you have a choice. You can choose to let that anger go. To focus instead on what actions you can take to address the situation constructively. The same goes for fear. When you feel that knot in your stomach, that voice in your head telling you you're not good enough, you can pause. You can recognize that this is just an emotion, not a fact. You can choose to act in spite of that fear, to push through it rather than let it hold you back. This, my friends, is what it means to shut down your emotions. It doesn't mean you don't feel them. It means you don't let them control you. It means you're in the driver's seat of your life. not your emotions. Now, I don't know what some of you are thinking. What about positive emotions? Shouldn't we embrace those? And you're absolutely right. Positive emotions like joy, love, gratitude. These are powerful forces for good in our lives. They can motivate us, inspire us, connect us with others. And even positive emotions need to be managed. Have you ever been so excited about something that you made rash decisions? Have you ever been so in love that you ignored red flags in a relationship? Even positive emotions can lead us astray if we're not careful. The key is balance. It's about using your emotions as tools, as sources of information and energy, rather than letting them use you. It's about cultivating positive emotions while not becoming overly attached to them. It's about experiencing the full range of human emotions while maintaining your center. This is what true emotional intelligence looks like. It's not about suppressing your emotions or pretending they don't exist. It's about understanding them, working with them, and ultimately transcending them. When you can do this, when you can shut down your emotions at will and choose your responses consciously, you'll find that life takes on a whole new quality. You'll no longer be at the mercy of your moods, your fears, your doubts. You'll be able to pursue your goals with single-minded focus, undeterred by the emotional ups and downs that derail so many others. You'll find that your relationships improve because you're no longer reacting unconsciously to every little trigger. You'll be able to listen more deeply, to empathize more fully, to communicate more clearly. Your work will improve because you'll be able to stay focused and motivated even when things get tough. You won't give up at the first sign of difficulty because you'll know that your feelings of discouragement are just temporary, just emotions that you can choose to shut. Your health will improve because so much of our unhealthy behavior is driven by unchecked emotions. Stress eating, procrastination, substance abuse. These are all ways we try to cope with emotions we don't know how to handle. But when you can shut down your emotions at will, you no longer need these crutches. But perhaps most importantly, you will find a sense of inner peace, a sense of freedom that you've never experienced before. Because when you're no longer at the mercy of your emotions, when you're no longer identified with your fleeting feelings, you tap into something deep, something more fundamental. You tap into your true self. You see, beneath all the emotional turbulence, beneath all the mental chatter, there's a part of you that's always calm, always clear, always at peace. Some call it the soul, some call it consciousness, some call it the true self. Whatever you call it is the essence of who you are. And when you learn to shut down your emotions, when you learn to disidentify from your feelings, you create space to connect with this deeper part of yourself. You create space for intuition, for wisdom, for true understanding to arise. This, my friends, is the ultimate goal of emotional mastery. It's not just about being more successful in the world, although that will certainly happen. It's about discovering who you truly are beneath all the emotional and mental conditioning. It's about awakening to your true nature. Now, I know this might sound a bit abstract, a bit out there for some of you, but I assure you it's very real. And it's something that every single one of you can experience for yourself. All it takes is practice, patience, and persistence. Start small. The next time you feel a strong emotion arising, whether it's anger, fear, excitement, or anything else, just pause. Take a deep breath. Observe the emotion without getting caught up in it. Notice how it feels in your body. Notice the thoughts that accompany it. Then ask yourself, is this emotion serving me right now? Is it helping me or hindering me? If it's not serving you, consciously choose to let it go. Focus your attention on something else. Your breath, your surroundings, the task at hand. At first, this might feel difficult, even impossible. Your emotions might seem overwhelming, too powerful to control. But I promise you, with practice, it gets easier. You'll start to notice that you have more space between the trigger and your response. You'll start to feel a sense of choice, of freedom that you've never experienced before. And as you continue to practice, you'll find that you can maintain your calm, your clarity, your focus, even in the most challenging situations. You'll be able to make decisions based on wisdom rather than reactivity. You'll be able to pursue your goals with unwavering determination, undeterred by the emotional ups and downs that derail so many others. This, my friends, is what it means to truly shut down your emotions. It's not about becoming emotionless. It's about becoming the master of your emotions rather than their slave. It's about using your emotions as tools rather than being used by them. And when you can do this, when you can shut down your emotions at will and choose your responses consciously, you'll find that life takes on a whole new quality. You'll find a sense of peace, of freedom, of power that you've never experienced before. You'll be able to pursue your dreams with single-minded focus, undeterred by fear or doubt. You'll be able to build deeper, more meaningful relationships because you'll no longer be reacting unconsciously to every little trigger. You'll be able to make decisions based on wisdom and foresight rather than impulsive emotions. In short, you'll be able to create the life you've always dreamed of. Because when you're no longer at the mercy of your emotions, when you're no longer identified with your fleeting feelings, you become the true author of your life story. So I challenge you, starting today, to begin this journey of emotional mastery. To begin the practice of shutting down your emotions when they're not serving you. It won't be easy. There will be times when you fall back into old patterns, when your emotions seem to get the better of you. But don't get discouraged. Remember, this is a practice. It's a skill that you're developing. And like any skill, it takes time and effort to master. But I promise you, the rewards are worth it. The sense of freedom, of power, of peace that comes from true emotional mastery is beyond it. So start today. Start now. The next time you feel a strong emotion arising, pause, take a deep breath. Observe the emotion without getting caught up in it, and then make a conscious choice about how you want to respond. Remember, you are not your emotions. You are the awareness behind your emotions. You are the one who experiences them, who observes them, and you have the power to choose how to respond to them. This is your life, your story, and you have the power to write it any way you choose. Don't let your emotions hold the pen. Take control. Shut down your emotions when they're not serving you, and step into the incredible potential that lies within you. You have greatness within you. You have the power to create an extraordinary life. But to do that, you need to become the master of your emotions, not their slave. You need to learn to shut down your emotions when they're holding you back, when they're keeping you small. So I urge you, don't wait. Don't put this off. Start now. Start today. Begin the practice of emotional mastery. Begin the journey of discovering who you truly are beneath all the emotional turbulence. Because when you can shut down your emotions at will, when you can choose your responses consciously, you'll find that life becomes an incredible adventure. An adventure where you're in control, where you're the author of your own story. You'll find that obstacles become opportunities. Challenges become chances to grow. Failures become stepping stones to success. Because you'll no longer be derailed by fear, by doubt, by discouragement. You'll be able to maintain your focus, your determination, your vision, no matter what life throws at you. This is the power of emotional mastery. This is what's possible when you learn to shut down your emotions and take control of your life. So go forth, my friends. Go forth and practice. Go forth and discover the incredible power that lies within you. The power to shape your destiny, to create the life you've always dreamed of, to become the person you were always meant to be. Remember, this journey of emotional mastery is not about suppressing your feelings or becoming a cold, unfeeling robot. It's about gaining the ability to choose your responses, to act from a place of wisdom rather than reactivity. It's about freeing yourself from the tyranny of your emotions and stepping into your true power. As you embark on this journey, you'll likely face challenges. There will be times when your emotions seem overwhelming, when you feel like you're losing control. But don't be discouraged. These moments are opportunities for growth, chances to practice and strengthen your emotional mastery. Think of it like building a muscle. When you first start out exercising, you might feel weak. You might struggle with even the lightest weights. But as you continue to practice, as you push through the discomfort, you grow stronger. Our muscles develop, and what once seemed impossible becomes effortless. The same is true for emotional mastery. At first, shutting down your emotions might seem difficult, even impossible. But with consistent practice, with persistent effort, you'll find that it becomes easier. You'll develop the mental and emotional strength to remain calm and centered even in the face of life's greatest challenges. And as you develop this strength, you'll find that your entire life begins to transform. You'll notice that you're no longer reactive, no longer at the mercy of every passing mood or feeling. Instead, you'll find yourself responding to life's challenges with clarity, with wisdom, with purpose. You'll find that your relationships improve. Because when you're no longer controlled by your emotions, you're able to listen more deeply, to empathize more fully, to communicate more clearly. You'll be able to navigate conflict with grace and understanding rather than getting caught up in anger or defensiveness. Your work life will transform as well. You'll find that you're able to stay focused and motivated even when faced with difficult tasks or challenging deadlines. You'll be able to handle criticism constructively, using it as a tool for growth rather than letting it deflate you. And when opportunities arise, you'll be able to seize them with confidence, unhampered by fear or self-doubt. But perhaps most importantly, you'll discover a deep sense of inner peace. A sense of freedom that comes from knowing that you're not at the mercy of your emotions, that you have the power to choose your responses in any situation. This inner peace, this sense of freedom, is not something that comes from external circumstances. It's not dependent on having the perfect job, the perfect relationship, the perfect life. It comes from within. It comes from knowing who you truly are beneath all the emotional turbulence. As you continue to practice emotional mastery, as you continue to shut down your emotions when they're not serving you, you'll find yourself connecting more and more with this deeper part of yourself. This part that's always calm, always clear, always at peace. Some call it the soul, some call it consciousness, some call it the true self. Whatever you call it, it's the essence of who you are. And when you learn to quiet the emotional noise, when you learn to shut down the constant chatter of your feelings, you create space for this deeper wisdom to emerge. Imagine for a moment what your life would be like if you could access this wisdom at any time. If you could make decisions not based on fear or greed or anger, but based on a deep intuitive understanding of what's truly best for you and those around you. Imagine how different your relationships would be if you could respond to conflicts not with reactive emotions, but with compassion and understanding. Imagine how your career would flourish if you could pursue your goals with unwavering focus, undeterred by setbacks or failure. This is the potential that lies within you. This is what's possible when you master your emotions, when you learn to shut them down at will and choose your responses consciously. But remember, this isn't about becoming perfect. It's not about never feeling negative emotions. Emotions, both positive and negative, are a natural part of the human experience. The goal isn't to eliminate them, but to develop the ability to choose how we respond to them. There will still be times when you feel angry, when you feel afraid, when you feel sad. And that's okay. These emotions can provide valuable information about our experiences and our needs. The key is to learn to observe these emotions without being controlled by them. Think of your emotions like clouds in the sky. They come and go, constantly changing, never permanent. Sometimes the sky is clear and bright. Sometimes it's dark and stormy. But beneath all of this, the sky itself remains unchanged. It remains vast, open, limitless. In the same way, beneath all your changing emotions, there's a part of you that remains constant. A part that's always at peace, always clear, always free. And as you practice shutting down your emotions, as you learn to disidentify from your feelings, you create space to connect with this deeper part of yourself. This is the true power of emotional mastery. It's not just about being more successful in the world, although that will certainly happen. It's about discovering who you truly are beneath All the emotional and mental conditioning, it's about awakening to your true nature. And as you awaken to this true nature, you'll find that your entire perspective on life begins to shift. Things that used to bother you no longer have the same power. Challenges that used to seem insurmountable become opportunities for growth. And the constant chatter of your mind, the roller coaster of your emotions, begins to quiet down. In its place, you'll find a deep sense of peace, a profound feeling of connection with yourself and the world around you. You'll find that you're able to move through life with greater ease, greater grace, greater purpose. You'll find that you're able to pursue your goals not from a place of lack or fear, but from a place of abundance and joy. You'll be able to give to others not because you need something from them, but because giving itself brings you joy. This is the life that's available to you when you master your emotions. This is the potential that lies within you, waiting to be unleashed. So I urge you, don't wait. Don't put this off. Start now, start today. Begin the practice of emotional mastery. Begin the journey of discovering who you truly are beneath all the emotional turbulence. Start small. The next time you feel a strong emotion arising, pause. Take a deep breath. Observe the emotion without getting caught up in it. Notice how it feels in your body. Notice the thoughts that accompany it. Then ask yourself, is this emotion serving me right now? Is it helping me or hindering me? If it's not serving you, consciously choose to let it go. Focus your attention on something else, your breath, your surroundings, the task at hand. At first, this might feel difficult, even impossible. Your emotions might seem overwhelming, too powerful to control. But I promise you, with practice, it gets easier. You'll start to notice that you have more space between the trigger and your response. You'll start to feel a sense of choice, of freedom that you've never experienced before. And as you continue to practice, you'll find that you can maintain your calm, your clarity, your focus, even in the most challenging situations. You'll be able to make decisions based on wisdom rather than reactivity. You'll be able to pursue your goals with unwavering determination, undeterred by the emotional ups and downs that derail so many others. Remember, this is a journey. It's not about reaching a destination, but about continually growing, continually evolving. There will be setbacks along the way. There will be times when you fall back into old patterns, when your emotions seem to get the better of you. Don't get discouraged. These moments are not failures, they're opportunities for learning. Each time you notice that you've been caught up in an emotion, each time you're able to step back and choose a different response, you're growing, you're developing your emotional mastery. And with each step forward, with each moment of awareness, you're creating a new future for yourself. A future where you're no longer at the mercy of your emotions, but where you're the master of your own destiny. Imagine the person you become as you continue on this journey. Imagine the impact you'll have on the world around you. Because when you master your emotions, when you learn to shut them down at will and choose your responses consciously, you become a beacon of peace and clarity in a world that's often chaotic and confused. You become someone who can lead with wisdom, who can love deeply without attachment, who can pursue their goals with passion while remaining unattached to the outcome. You become someone who can make a real difference in the world. Not because you're trying to prove something or because you need something from others, but simply because you're expressing your true nature. This is the potential that lies within you. This is what's possible when you commit to the practice of emotional mastery. So go forth, my friends. Go forth and practice. Go forth and discover the incredible power, the power to shape your destiny, to create the life you've always dreamed of, to become the person you were always meant to be. Remember, you're not your emotions. You are the awareness behind your emotions. You are the one who experiences them, who observes them. And you have the power to choose how to respond to them. This is your life. Your story, and you have the power to write it any way you choose. Don't let your emotions hold the pen. Take control. Shut down your emotions when they're not serving you, and step into the incredible potential that lies within. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. And your journey to emotional master begins now, in this very moment. With each breath, with each conscious choice, you're creating a new future for yourself. A future of freedom, of peace, of limitless potential. So take that first step, and then another, and another. Keep moving forward, keep practicing, keep growing. And before you know it, you look back and be amazed at how far you've come, at how much you've grown, and how much your life has transformed. The power is within you. The choice is yours. Now go forth and create the life you've always dreamed of. Go forth and become the master of your emotions, the author of your own story, the creator of your own destiny.